Today I'm going to rank all the game modes in Fire Emblem Heroes. Sort of. It's hard to define what a game mode is, especially in a game like Fire Emblem Heroes. Like, does Lost Lore count? Arguably, it's not a game. It's more sitting around for 24 hours and waiting. No one cares about Lost Lore. Because you often have a lot of the game modes that just use the engine. But then you have ones like Tap Battle, which is completely different. I would consider Tap Battle an actual game. So, basically, all the arena modes count. And all of the event tab stuff counts, as well as a few other stuff. There might even be someone here you forgot existed. Like I did. And I'm the one making the video. So I'm going to give you a brief summary of my feelings on it, etc. Then we'll go on to the next one. It's a simple ranking system. Shouldn't be too confusing. So yeah, enjoy. By the way, thanks to Alizito, I don't know how to pronounce your name, for the footage here. There are a few game modes I couldn't get footage of, so basically, I think it's about 6. Link in the description for all of those. They think they'll be like the second links. And the Lost Lore certainly is a mode that exists. I literally had to fill out this time by explaining the whole description thing. No one cares about Lost Lore. Frontline Phalanx. I know this one's yet to come out, but I can tell my feelings on it already. It seems to have about as much depth as Lost Lore. So you're probably like, okay, Tap Battle's next. I don't think it is. I haven't decided yet, but I don't believe it is. It just doesn't look fun. Frontline Phoenix. I was literally talking to a friend who plays the game, and it's like, I do not recall where we're getting the IV mangoes. It's like, the new game mode. Oh yeah, that exists. Literally, he doesn't even remember it existed. It's like, it's so forgettable. Like, less than a week after you're told it exists, you forget it exists. No one cares about Frontline Phoenix. I think game modes like this and Lost Lore are stupid. And I'll be honest, if I were to do an updated version of this list, I might include Frontline Phoenix as Lost Lore, because it looks to be the exact same thing, with slightly more depth. Hence why it's one place higher. Relay defense / relay battles, those certainly existed. They certainly did. This is the one I was talking about. I forgot it existed. I didn't like it. My friend didn't like it. Most people didn't like it, to my knowledge. So it's such an interesting case because it's an interesting concept, but also kind of looked like we were finally getting replays for Arena by name alone. So may have thought it was Arena Defense replays. Until I was thoroughly disappointed. But legitimately, I can't name a single person who gave a single flip about this game mode. There's a reason it has not appeared in 2 years. Because no one cares. My thoughts, at least. Voting gauntlets are interesting. They're pre-made voting things. It's not that fun. It requires very little thought. You either pick who you want or literally go to this website which tells you who's winning and who's losing and choose the one with the least supporters so then you can do the best. There is literally barely any rewards you get for this. You get a couple feathers and like an orb. It's not worth doing. It's not that interesting. I think the only time it actually mattered was a Hero Rises 2020 finals. I think that's the only time anyone even considered caring about this mode. It's not interesting. It's not fun. It's kind of tedious, if you ask me. Tactic Drills is a mode that exists. There's nothing else I can really say about it. I know some people enjoy these maps. They're just, in my opinion, they're awkward and clunky. If you like it, it's not a bad thing. It's an interesting mode, and I definitely think it's a very useful and good inclusion. Minus the fact that the little hint/tip in the bottom corner is completely worthless. And I have actually never done these legitimately. I have just Googled someone else doing it. So, because, like, I don't care to learn the mechanics of a unit I don't see that often, and or don't use. Like, you don't see Fears too often, but I know her mechanics, because I legitimately use Fear probably every few days. She's one of my main units, so I just do not care for tactics. Blessed Gardens. Remember this thing existed? Yeah, neither did I. It was replaced with, I think, what everyone can consider a way superior mode in Aether Raids. Blessed Gardens existed. It pretty much asked you to spend money on a PvE mode. IS is certainly an interesting company, aren't they? I have nothing to say, I'm sorry. Arena Assault. AKA, who cares? Who asked? Why does this mode exist? It's unfun, it's annoying, it's slow, it's clunky. It requires you to use a bunch of units you usually don't use. It's boring, it's repetitive. I don't care for it. And I guess the items can be useful, but they found a way better use 4 years later in Resonant Battles. So the main mechanic of this mode, using these items you collect, was found differently, made better, made more fun in a different game mode. It's completely pointless. I don't understand why Arena Assault still exists, and it's something you have to do every week, and I don't care. Arena, a classic mode that no one ever gave a care about. Arena has had so many changes that just keeps making it unfun. It just used these very powerful units. Like, for me, I get to use a unit I really like often because one of the 180 BST units that came around forever ago now, because now we're on 185. Woo! Power creep! No one cares! So I got to use her for a while and actually have a good unit. A +10 Winter Fae. Because Faye is my favorite Fire Emblem character of all time, so. You know. But I don't care for Arena. It's just do these tasks over and over and over and over again. It can be fun, and it's nice to see. It can give a purpose to some units, but I don't see a purpose to it. We're getting into modes I'm more indifferent to now. Forging Bonds, it's fine. It's really easy to just auto through. I don't care. It's, the reason it's so high up for a I don't care mode is because it has some merit to it. Unlike other modes, it lost lore. Because they do have to write unique dialogue for these characters. And I think that's a good idea. That's it. It had an idea. And it works. And it's not boring. It's just kind of existing. Rival domains. Certainly exists. It's super useful for getting feathers. I'm pretty indifferent to it. The few times I actually do it instead of just auto-battling it, I can enjoy it. It requires more strategy than normal game, because you're controlling 8 units and facing And the units can be quite capable in this mode if you're not prepared. For example, they do know when it's time to attack or when it's time to protect their base. They can be slightly capable, which is more than can be said for most AI in this game. And yes, I just lost a Nino to a very stupid decision. But it's also fun to get to try out units you don't normally use. Being your friends' units. Like, hell, I actually wish I got a Claude here. And, get to try them out. And, I know the other week, one of my friends had a Hell, which is a unit I did want to get. So, yay! It's a fun mode. On the other hand, Grand Conquests are super lazy and exactly the same game mode I just talked about, to the extent of I am reusing footage. It's very obvious I'm reusing footage right now, right, editor? What do you mean I'm an editor? What do you mean I'm doing this all myself? Well, I am, so future me, you better choose extremely obvious points to prove I'm using the exact same footage and making the exact same mistakes with Noe and Nino. But legitimately, Proud Domains, I'd like it more if it wasn't a copy and paste of Grand Conquest. I mean the other way around. You know what I mean. It sucks. Allegiance battles sure is a thing that exists. It's fine. It's interesting. I don't really like the mode. It's definitely an interesting way to get to use your friends' allies. Yes, I've ended up with 3 pair-up units that I use. That isn't even because I like this mode, that's just by sheer chance. I was kind of upset when they started replacing it with resonant battles, but I don't really have an opinion on this mode. It's fine. We're getting into modes, that I am starting to enjoy. Like, we're getting into modes that I like a little bit, so that's good. Tap Battle is a mode that's definitely gone down the ranks as the years have went on. I really enjoyed it first, and it's definitely gone on less. My favorite is by far the Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Anything can change.
I'm a sucker for Tokyo Mirage Sessions music, and honestly, Japanese music in general. I love.
Going by the horns.
So, yeah, it's pretty much things. Sort of, it's not really defeated. Hit the enemies when they hit your ball.
Get away from me.
That's about it. Ricker Sieges. I have some very similar feelings. It can be fun sometimes. Sometimes it can't be. The accessories are neat. Ruckers are interesting. I would honestly love to see them use a Rucker in the main story of Fire Emblem Heroes. Like how you had Surtur and Hell, and I think now would be the perfect chance. I can't remember her name. Nightmare Queen. It would be your perfect chance to do something like this. Have her at the very end turn into a giant Rooker for the final map. That would be, obviously with less health, or something like that, and the final boss is a Rooker. That'd be so cool, because they are basically a boss mode. It'd be awesome to see them use that in the main story instead of just AI units. Like in main games, you have these threatening big bosses. Hell, the final boss in Awakening is Grima. A massive death dragon. Boom. Mjolnir Strike is fine. It's fun. Of course, well, it can be fun. It definitely brought some funny moments, like the ending. It's like, Delthea, fire the cannon! Who are we shooting at? Delthea. It brought some funny moments. Especially every time Bernadetta's in the cannon by my rotation. Because Bernadetta's just peeking her head out like, please don't hurt me. I'm in a tank. Yeah, it's great. It brings some funny moments. I can enjoy it. I do not care for how much IS has been pushing the use units from every game thing. I don't like harmonized heroes. I think it's dumb because it's like, okay, at least dual heroes were heroes who actually interacted properly. Like, I mean, they needn't care for each other. But, like, okay, I guess Veronica and Xander do have a thing because of their story. And yes, technically Lucina and Mia interacted once. But the actual mode itself is really fun, and I actually really enjoy it. It's, well, not really fun, but I do heavily enjoy it. It is fun. It's nice that I only have to do it once a week, and I do actually enjoy trying to solve it to my best of my abilities without using a guide. And using the units I have available and built that match those titles. You know, now would probably be a good time to mention that the numbers do include loot. Your rewards. Tempest Trials are really just the amount of orbs and feathers and all that good stuff you get with it. Pretty much the only reason they're this high. It's not fun, it's just, the rewards are super nice, and I love seeing them come around every time. Eighth Resort is such a calm and chill mode. I would legitimately have it be my screensaver if I could. I use Apple, so screensavers aren't that readily of an option, if at all. And I think it would just be too distracting on my PC. But if I could have it as, like, a phone background, I would have it as a phone background. I love this thing. It's so nice just getting to see your heroes interact with each other. And it's weird. In any Fire Emblem game, you really take the peaceful modes for granted. Legitimately, the My Castle mode in Fates I really liked, and even just that small little armory area in Awakening where you could just see units occasionally go in and celebrate their birthdays. I really loved that. The serene mode, the slower and calmer modes you see in Fire Emblem games are honestly a really nice treat because they always have so much care and love put into them, and it's nice seeing characters who are pretty much always in a state of perpetual war just get to relax and have fun. It's modes I love, and this is definitely one of them, so I'm happy to see Fire Emblem Heroes getting a mode like this. Aether Raids was, for a long period of time, my favorite mode in Fire Emblem Heroes. I wish it was a little better on the monetization front, but I love it. I love Aether Raids. It's such a fun mode. And something I didn't really say is, and hence why I actually included Frontline Phoenix, my initial reaction to a game mode usually ends up being my general consensus. Anyway. Because you have Lost Lore. Okay, this looks stupid. Frontline Phoenix. What the heck? But then you have Aether Raids. This looks really cool. There are some I was more opposed to from the start. They're not 100% accurate, but they are usually a good gist. Like, you will get the gist, will Brandon like this mode? And Aether Raids definitely can say something on that. Basically, you build up your defenses, defend. I'm still working on mine, so please don't raid me. Please. Leave me be. But I love the mode. It's such a contrast too. Ironically, it's partner mode. Aether Resort is partner mode. And I love this game mode. It's one of my favorite game modes in Fire Emblem Heroes, and hell, I don't mind the actual thing, because I really like Air, so every late season, I don't mind using her. She's one of my favorite characters from Fire Emblem Heroes. So, yeah. And honestly, it's a really nice excuse to get to use some of those units, so I'm happy about it. Hall of Forms is one of the funnest modes Fire Emblem Heroes has ever introduced. Something that is kind of a secret. I love roguelikes. It's not really a secret. Like, anyone who knows me knows I like them. But I never really made it clear on this channel. But I love roguelikes. And I would love an actual Fire Emblem game that plays something like this. Or some DLC for 3 houses. Basically, you get your starting lord, or your starting characters, and you can either get new skills, which is why I think this would do this best. Or, if we do an actual game, do units, even ones you can't normally recruit. It'd be so fun. I love roguelikes, as I've said, like 5 seconds ago. And I would love to see more Fire Emblem modes like this in actual main series titles. I think that's the first time I've ever said a Heroes mode I want to be in a main series Fire Emblem game. And Hall of Forms is that. I really like Hall of Forms. I'm not going to make that a secret. It's by far my favorite mode in all of Fire Emblem Heroes, and it's super fun every time it comes around. Am I the best at it? Hell no. I very rarely make it to the final chambers. But it's so fun, and no one can tell you otherwise if you like a mode. Like, for some reason, if you like Lost Lore, I think it's absolute garbage, but if you like it, okay. Might need to go to a mental institution, but if you like it, then go ahead. Like it. Don't know why anyone would like Lost Lore, but if you do, okay. That's cool. Those are my thoughts. Tell me yours in the comment section down below. Thanks to all the YouTubers I stole footage from. You know this stuff, the usual stuff. Special thanks, especially to Phoenix Master 1 there. I steal your footage a lot. So, massive thanks to you. Not to mention, there are some videos that you've inspired, and even the ones I don't really steal your footage from, I may or may not have stolen your background from in 2018. So, thanks for not suing me. I appreciate it. Well, if you enjoyed this video, have a nice day, and good luck on your next summoning session.